Hello, everyone. I am Marie-Pierre Sac-Flora, the founder of Urban Flora, a holistic, clean beauty line. We have started a very interesting series called the Athlete of Life series. And our Athlete of Life today is larger than life. She's remarkable. She's a very inspiring woman. Her name is Stéphanie Brillant. She is a journalist, an author, a filmmaker, a speaker, and she's very passionate about the connection between neuroscience, our life, and our spiritual path. And her research has focused on how our brain functions, and especially how the brain of our children functions, with her acclaimed documentary, Brainius, which was quite successful when it came out. And more recently, she has been focusing on breathing, the power of breathing. She just launched a fascinating book called The Superpower of the Breath. And I'm now introducing Stéphanie in her own words. She can tell us a little bit more about the power of breathing for all of us.
Thank you, Marie-Pierre, for these kind words. You perfectly explain who I am. So, as you said, breathing is my new topic of interest because I discovered that it's a way you can really better know the person you are. And also, to me, it's kind of a human software update. Thanks to breathing, you can explore new paths, you can be more conscious, you can heal yourself physically, mentally, and you can also improve your performances as an athlete. I mean, as an athlete of your mind and as an athlete of your body as well.
And so, being an athlete of your mind and your body, what does being an athlete of life means for you? Because I think you're really the embodiment of what we mean when we talk about athletes of life.
You know, what I think is interesting is an athlete is training in order to succeed, in order to do a competition, in order, to have a D-Day. And to me, being an athlete of life is exactly the same thing. If you don't face situation, if you don't face problems, and you are not able to cope with it, you don't really know what it is to go through life. And you need to be an athlete if you want to evolve, because sometimes you just realize that, oh, I thought I would be perfect on this. I thought I fixed my problems and I was able now to really kind of deal with it, to be nice with everybody, to let go my anger. And actually, when we face the situation, we realize that this is not true. So to me, being an athlete of life is like evolving all the time and train. So work on yourself to be a better person and to have a more powerful impact on the world.
That's very, very true, and I think it's really important to look at things that way. You just went through, and you're still going through a grueling schedule with the very successful launch of your book. Where do you find your energy? How do you replenish your energy? How do you recover?
To me, energy is not something you have or you don't have. You always have energy, but the thing is, sometimes it's blocked. And you block it when you have too much stress, when you don't feel good, but it's still there. And this is a moment in my life when I feel a lot of life inside me and around me, then my energy is like everywhere. So you don't really need to rest. You just need to, be in this life movement, and the energy is always accessible.
Right. So tell us about your own journey, your odyssey. What brought you where you are today? What is your story?
This is funny. When you look back, you just realize that, oh, okay, it was meant to be. I've always been interested in philosophy, psychology. When I was young, I wanted to be a choreographer, and then I wanted to become a lawyer. And what I do now is kind of a mix of everything. Choreographer, because I connect the dots and I see movement in things that don't really exist in some way. So I have this abstractical mind, psychology and philosophy, it's all related to science, because when you start to learn science, you discover that actually science helps to make sense of philosophy. It's kind of a proof of what philosophers explained for decades and decades, and we all have this wisdom. But now many people just don't need only to have the wisdom, but more to better understand, because you need to have proof and to convince people. The wisdom is not enough in the world we live in. So it came, as something very natural to me. I started my career as a journalist, and I thought that it was a way for me to connect the dots, to kind of give away what I learned, but it was not my voice, my real voice, because I was explaining what was happening in the world, and I have no real dharma. And once I realized that, oh, you know what, you have something specific to say, because your vision is maybe not everybody's vision, and I thought that in a way I just need to be very aligned. I started to do what I do, so to use the same kind of way to express myself. But now this is my real voice, and I'm not at the service of other people's stories, even if I do, because I just gather the information and I transform them, and I love this transformation.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Finding your voice, I think that's something that is an amazing moment for us, and I really hope that everybody experiences that in their lifetime. It's amazing. What is the one lesson that you learned going through that journey that you think would be an inspiration for our followers, yours and mine, and what would you like to tell them today about that lesson that you learned?
Life always wants the best for you. Once you understand that, you don't see the world the same way. You don't see what is happening to you the same way. You just realize that this is happening for you. And pretty often we just feel like, oh, I'm stuck, or this project doesn't work, or this is not the right path, I shouldn't do it this way. But it's just not a no. It's just meaning that something is not working the way you are in the world. So I just feel when it's difficult, just realize that, okay, it is for a reason. And go really to the bottom of this, because it's an opportunity for you to grow. And once you are able to go through this, you have more trust, you have more faith, and this is what is really important to you in life, to be good for other people around you. It's this real deep faith you can learn if you really do believe that life wants the best for you.
So that's a great segue, because as an athlete of life and going through your own sort of odyssey, how would you like to impact others and the life of others?
I'm obsessed by the waste of potential. I saw so many people struggling and really not happy because they were not able to unlock this potential, that to me, what I can do is share my experience, give some tools to help people really being able to be at the best, at their best, and to grow. So this is really what I want to do, and this energy that I have, and I know that I'm doing good when I'm doing that, because very often I connect with people and they tell me, oh, thank you, I discovered something new, or you gave me energy. This is what I'm good at. So I know it's kind of my mission, and it's very rewarding too, because when I do something, when I find something, when I share it, and people around me tell me that, oh, you know what, this is really great, thank you for this. It's a fantastic feedback, because it's not like me and the rest of the world. It's a circle. It's what I do is useful for you, and the way you receive it is useful for me, because it gives me hope and it tells me that, oh, you should continue in this path because this is useful.
Right, and it's a circle of energy and usefulness. I think it's wonderful. So one last question. What makes you happy? What makes you smile in life? And when you get up in the morning, what is the thought that makes you smile?
Pretty much everything. No, for real. Now I feel I'm a very good companion to my own self. So I have kind of fun with me. And my son thinks sometimes I'm crazy because I'm talking out loud, and he says, "Why are you talking to yourself?" And it's just that, if you decide that, okay, let's see the bright side in everything, it's very joyful. So I'm also very, I pay attention to beauty. It's all around us, and it can be a smile of somebody, or a sweetheart, an action, whatever it is. Beauty is kind of everywhere, and when you pay attention to those little moments, it's very joyful.
That's amazing. I'll remember that when I get up tomorrow morning to be happy about everything. I lied when I said that was the last question. I'm going to ask you one more. If you were to designate the athlete of life who has had or is having sort of an inspirational influence on you, who would that be?
I dedicate most of my books to 4 mentors that I have. There is Carl Jung, the psychologist, very, very spiritual. Maya Angelou, who really had a huge fight for the rights of Black people. Coco Chanel, the French creator, to me, who was a very powerful woman and very creative. And also Yogananda, who was a spiritual teacher coming from India. And he was the first one who started to explain to America that there was a connection between yoga and the brain. So those people are in different disciplines, kind of athletes of life. They pursued something, and they did good for the world.
That's amazing. Fantastic, fantastic mentors, and a fantastic brain of yours, and heart, and spirituality and soul. So thank you very much, Stephanie, for spending this time with us. It was really, really wonderful. And everyone, read Stephanie's book. We love it. It's in French right now, but it will be, I'm certain, translated in English very soon. The incredible superpower of the breath. Looking forward to seeing it in this country. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Thank you, Marie-Pierre, for having me, and thanks everybody for listening.